Welcome.
Hola, hi. I'm going to speak English. I hope that's okay. We have translation going on, right? Yes, okay. So, hi, I'm really happy to be here in Mexico City. First time for me. I've been to Mexico many times on vacation, but this is business, so this is wonderful visit. I'm going to start with video.
I believe they're the best in the game. They're aggressive, young, fearless.
The success, just getting started.
Under Armour.
We're the cool kids.
The culture there is
Aggressive, young, and fearless.
we're going to shock the world. The culture of our company is really about winning.
I'm so passionate about winning. I love it so much. You guys are kicking y'all's butts. Y'all should be embarrassed.
That guy from Under Armour, he's going to beat Nike's ass.
The champ is here! The champ is here!
Championship, baby.
Another day in the office, kid.
Love the enthusiasm, but it's a little distracting.
Win one MVP.
Tell us what happened out there.
I'm not saying I'm the Taylor Swift of boxing, but I'm not saying I'm the Taylor Swift of boxing.
Cause baby, now we got bad blood. You know it used to be bad love. So take a look what you've done. Cause baby, now we got bad blood.
I've never been one of those girly girls.
In the backfield. New quarterback.
All the way around the world to see the MVP.
Konnichiwa. We see amazing opportunity for us around the globe.
Under Armour. Under Armour. See?
Komm, erstes Under Armour. Weiter, komm!
First things first, we the realest. And we bout to make the whole world feel it. Reaching on down, yeah, get rock, yeah, you falling under Armour over Nike. Under Armour over Nike.
Listen up.
You cannot bet against UA.
Under Armour's a modern success story.
Today's Under Armour Day.
Put my Under Armour's on, be ready to go. It's the shoe. That was nasty.
In the face of overwhelming odds, I'm left with only one option. I'm gonna have to science the out of this.
The new UA record.
Yes, science!
Times are changing, Betty. These nerds are a threat to our way of life.
We're doing all the things.
All of a sudden, small ain't so small.
We talked about slaying giants before. This ain't no more David Goliath.
So that's a quick introduction to our brand, and we've been here in Mexico for about 8 years actively. We sponsor some of the soccer teams here, and we're obviously in some of the stores that athletes shop in. I want to move on to kind of giving you an idea of what the brand stands for. You maybe see apparel or footwear, accessories, hats, etc. in the store, but what are they for, and what is my job as a designer and innovation to help create those things, and what does it take to work with partners just like the ones that are sitting next to me to bring product to life. So our brand vision, or what we stand for, is to empower every athlete everywhere. So around the globe, we're a global brand, and we really go into every sport with the intent to help solve problems and to build product that makes athletes better. Whether that's a shirt that wicks moisture way better, something that doesn't sting for somebody like you saw somebody crossing a stream, right? So people that are hunting for days on end and all they have is the shirt on their back. We create product that can withstand extreme conditions. And what we do also is we create not only the product, but the story behind it, and we see that in products that you see in, for instance, Steph Curry, which I'll get to a little bit later. We have a phenomenal team here in Mexico, in Portland, where I am, Portland, Oregon, and in Baltimore we're headquartered, and we have offices around the globe that have phenomenal team members. And we provide great service, not just to our athletes, but also the teams that we sponsor. And athletes like you and me that go out maybe for a run or play soccer with your child, we try to help make everybody have a better experience in sport. So what we stand for, we're underdogs. We're fighting. We started as a very, very small brand not that long ago, about 20 years ago. And we've grown to be an equal in terms of fighting power to other sport brands. And it's taken very short time. We've been tremendous growth, but we have a very fighting attitude. We have a lot of cutting-edge technology, which is what I'm going to talk about a little bit more, just a little bit. And we really have a loud brand voice. We're not a fluffy brand. We're not a Me Too, kind of like, I'm happy to be here brand. We're powerful. We're very boisterous. You saw in the video, we don't really take a back seat to anybody. We're at the front, we're the bleeding edge of technology, and we're having the best athletes in our roster. We have all MVPs in all major sports in the USA currently. Also the prima ballerina of the New York American Ballet, and the current MVP and champion in the NBA. I can go on and on. We love having the young athletes, and I'll get into that in a little bit as well. This is where the passion for sport usually starts, that then gets carried through a career, either in professional sport or it's something that inspires somebody to be a better person for whatever they do with the rest of their life. We started, like I said, about 20 years ago, and we started with just a t-shirt, and it was a high-tech t-shirt with a moisture-wicking fabric, not cotton, unfortunately, sorry. So up until that point, athletes only wore cotton t-shirt underneath their football uniforms. They were sweaty, they were chafing, they were heavy, they stunk. And what our founder did is he came from the football team. He created a t-shirt that was moisture-wicking, lightweight, stretchy, close to the body, very, very comfortable. And he created a short top, so he created a new design where actually the rest of the body was left blank so air can flow through and you stay cool. And we started as a football brand. What's interesting is we have since then expanded into other male-dominated sports, but also swimming. We have the most winningest athlete of all time, Michael Phelps, with most gold medals ever on our team. And we also have other athletes now, including Canelo, who's a championship boxer, Andy Murray in tennis, Cam Newton, current MVP of the NFL, et cetera, et cetera. I can go on and on. So this is where we started. This is where we're at now. And I'm really excited to show you this because it gives you a different understanding of athlete.
Dear candidate, thank you for your application to our ballet academy. Unfortunately, you have not been accepted. You lack the right feet, Achilles tendons, turnout, torso length, and bust. You have the wrong body for ballet, and at 13, you are too old to be considered.
So for a brand that started not that long ago in American football, where it's really tough, really rough, big guys, to go not much time later to work with the prima ballerina is really unusual, and that's really how we identify ourselves. We take routes when everybody goes zig, we go zag. We kind of break convention, and that's not just in how we market product. That's not just in how we build footwear. We actually build shoes in a bra factory, believe it or not, similar to how the Apollo mission astronaut suits initially were built. We seek new ventures, we seek new partners, we seek new ways of building, and that's really what my job is, building this product right here for the current champion MVP of the NBA. But we also take unusual approaches in branding and finding ways to connect with athletes and people that love sport and maybe have memories from far back about like Muhammad Ali. And then to Ernesto's presentation, we're just getting started in the digital space as well. So that said, I'm going to go into the meat of things. Hopefully, I have one more presentation. Click in. So the next one was supposed to be for what I do. I hope we can get to that. So I'm a designer, and somebody just here made a comment that it takes engineers and designers and a lot of other people to build great product or get great ideas to life, and I'm a firm believer of that. So I'm one person here today, but behind me stands a team of 12 people with very, very different skill sets: engineers, developers, psychologists, biomechanists, researchers, athletes as well, and a whole slew of other people that help us build products. So just see me as one of a larger team. I don't come up with the ideas myself in a vacuum. These are all collaborative processes. Innovation happens to me when people work together. So I'm from Under Armour. My name is Tom Luedecke. I work in footwear innovation. And for me, everything starts with the athlete and their performance. And I mean that to a T. I mean that very, very exactly like that. I can get started in a chemical company or at a university, or speaking to an athlete, or looking at their performance on a screen. But it really always simmers down to the athlete and performance. That is my focus, and that's what I'm really, really passionate about. When I talk about athlete and performance, this is what I'm talking about. Steph Curry, mid-air, flailing the ball into the basket, really, really amazing, stunning athletic performance. And my small job is to help make sure that he can do these things and not hurt himself or hurt his feet or feel pain when he's doing these extreme movements, and that at the end of the game he walks off the field with healthy feet and is ready to play the next day. So it starts on my side as a designer with art and some creative thinking, but I know there's a huge balance of that with science. And again, the larger team I work with has a lot of scientists included, and engineers and chemists. And so for me, it starts with the art and the passion, and like the video showed, a lot of the very strong emotions that come with sport, and I get inspired by that, just like most other people do, especially kids. When they see people winning and all the emotion that comes with that, they want to play the sport, they want to win, they want to participate. But there's also a healthy dose of science. This is actually a footprint of a 4-year-old, actually 1,000 4-year-olds kind of combined into one. So we do science all the way down to 1-year-old. When people are starting to walk, we're learning about that as a brand. We have a lot of knowledge in that we're bringing to bear in the near future. And we go do the science all the way through to the grown athlete that then performs at the highest level. And my job is then to have the imagination and the vision to take different technologies, different materials, different chemistry, new tooling, new manufacturing, different athletes, different movements, and come up with new ideas. My client is the athlete, first and foremost. That said, I'm as inspired by him as most other people watching him. My goal, though, is when I watch him play, I look what his feet are doing, not so much where the ball is going, although that's amazing. And when I see his feet, I get really inspired, because Steph, for example, he moves more like a tennis player than he does then like a basketball player. So if you look at a traditional basketball player, there's a lot of sharp cutting and all that stuff going on, and they put a lot of weight on their ankles. Steph's ankles can't do that, so he has a completely different way of moving, which is inspiring and allows me to think about product differently. So the client is Steph, but the source is the chemistry, the technology, the engineering that other companies bring to the table, and that we develop in collaboration with them. So we have a lot of collaborative efforts going on. So I fly to Germany to meet with a chemical company, or to China to meet with an engineering firm, or to Japan to figure out how to use a new machine, and then we try to apply it into shoes, of all things. And I'm really obsessed about the details. So what we do is we build the first prototype. Usually it's pretty rough. And we test it, and we iterate, and then we refine it and refine it and refine it. It's kind of like panning for gold. In the end, become a nugget, something that's really high value, because it's new, it's different. That's fairly easy to do, and usually do through looks or color. But then it works. It works for the athlete. It holds up over time, and it allows them to perform at the highest level. And that's the beauty of things. And then we test. This is at the University of Cologne. They have the best biomechanics lab, as far as I know, in the world. So here are 5 people actually putting sensors and reflective markers and pressure maps and infrared cameras. And so this person is getting tested to the nth degree, not as their personal performance, but what the what the shoe allows them to do. So they run in through a pressure map. They have infrared cameras on them capturing every angle of the major bones as they're running through, and we're capturing their velocity, we're capturing the angles their feet actually hit the floor, how fast they move, in which direction, how much force is exerted, and what the footwear is doing underneath to help them move better, faster, stronger, etc. So that's a great part of it that influences me in my work a lot, because I have it's not just the design, it's not just the drawing. I actually get real-time science feedback to make the product better. So before we hand it into the market, we can say that this is the best we can do right now until a better material comes along or a better technology. Form follows function. A lot of people have heard that probably before from anybody in design talking about this. And there's some beautiful new materials coming on board, new inks that stretch without breaking, TPU meshes that are able to be welded and held in place and create structure where before there was none. You can do that zonally. You can do hard and soft goods all in one. And there are beautiful new effects as well, as you can see on your left, my right. So this is sort of the grand overview of things. What really it comes down to, though, is then for me to look at the movement. And like I just said, I look at movement from Steph, and I see not Steph the basketball player, but Steph the athlete. And there's a big difference between the two, right? The basketball player, you think, oh, he's handling the ball and he's shooting, he's making buckets. Yes, he does. But have you ever checked him out, how he moves when he's not having the ball in hand? Right, when he's trying to get open. So he's a very small guy. He's about my height, a little taller. He's 6'3", 180, 190 pounds, depending on what part of the season. And he is fast. He's so fast. He moves side to side, front to back, all the time on the court. He hustles more than almost any other player in the league, for that matter. And he does a lot of that away from the ball. So somebody else has the ball. He's running around. Next time you see, maybe for the championship, hopefully, you see maybe one of those games, check him out. Check him out when he's moving off the ball, how much he's moving around. It's pretty crazy. And we analyze that. We look at that in detail. We look, what are the feet doing? What are the hips doing? The ankles, the knees? What are the angles he's moving at? And how can we optimize that for him to be able to focus? And this is where, sort of, for me, the rubber hits the road, pun intended. For the athlete to focus, they do not want to feel their feet. They do not want to feel their shoes. What they want to feel is the movement with the ball, without the ball, and running, it's the same thing. You don't want to feel your shoes when you're running. Am I correct? Yeah? It's the worst thing when you feel your shoes. You know you're going to have a blister. You know you're going to hurt. You know you're going to have probably a sore feet the next day or even the same day. So what we build is, it's a hard exercise to do. We build something that somebody else is supposed to not feel. And that's what makes them feel good. So it's a paradox. But this the focus on the game allows them to get in the zone, which makes them a better athlete, because then they can really tune into what the game is about. And for me, that's the payoff. If somebody says to me, man, I had the greatest game, I didn't even feel my shoes. To me, that's a compliment. I know it doesn't sound like one because I'm a shoe designer at the end, but I take great pride in that. The other thing we do really well at Under Armour, and you saw it on the screen before in the video, we tell great stories. And the story with Steph is that his father actually played in the NBA for quite a long time. He was a very successful NBA player. And he's instilled all his learnings from over 10 years in the NBA to his son. He shared that knowledge with his son. So that is why Steph, to a large degree, one, has a great connection with his father, but really is a phenomenal athlete. And he's a phenomenal person as well to speak to. He's a phenomenal dad, father of his wife and his family. And he's a great partner for us. He's a great partner for us to build great product, because he actually comes to us and talks to us about what we can do better. And I cannot emphasize that enough. It is all about partners. So I partner with people that bring new machinery into places. So this is a machine that we saw in Switzerland. Somebody in America bought the machine. We then went there and sourced yarns from a yarn supplier in Korea to then come up with a new way of building a material. That's kind of what my job is. I kind of pull from different sources and create something that leverages opportunities. This is a small lab of a Japanese company that makes Toyota headrests, of all things. And we're looking to work with them to build shoes. So the imagination part of things, you sometimes have to just let go of preconceived notions. Somebody who makes stuff for maybe cycling, there's something there that can be used in footwear. So somebody's doing, making bras or making cars or dashboards for that matter. There's always something there where I go and get inspired to partner with them and to try to figure out how do I make a better shoe? How do I make a better product? And we collaborate with big partners, and I talk about the big chemical companies and the big manufacturing partners, but we also partner with small entrepreneurs. So we're an open platform, open innovation platform company. We have over 4,000 submissions of ideas every year that come to us. Some of those get vetted through, and some of them are not applicable for us, or they're intellectual property that somebody else owns, and that's okay. We partner with them in a different way, but we literally have people that come to us with an idea and they say, I have this great idea, I want you guys to partner with me and build it. And we take great pride in being able to do that. So you have this whole idea of connecting different influences, connecting different companies, different partners, outside partners, inside partners, and we're really proud of the fact that we're now in a lot of different countries, partnering with a lot of different people, from really big companies to really, really just startup people that worked in their garage or in their basement and figured something out, and they're partnering with us to build the next great product. Our goal, my goal, is to make you say wow when you put our product on. My responsibility is footwear, where we have phenomenal apparel as well. And when we do that, I think we win as a company, of course, but the athlete wins because they feel better when they perform, and when they perform and they feel good about themselves, they usually end up winning. So thank you very much. I appreciate your enthusiasm and your listening. I'll talk to you in a bit.